It's time now to welcome back our resident body language expert. Every time she comes on, I'm going to sit in my hands. I'm not going to do anything. Because today, she's going to help us spot a liar. Of course, I have never, ever told a lie in my life. Will you please welcome Judy James? Judy! I'm a shocking liar. Shocking liar. Now, there are 6 various signs of body language that are giveaways for when we're being deceitful. What are they?
I'm going to write them down. It's actually quite hard for the body to lie. We go into a state called a lie arousal, which is a bit like fight or flight, so we get a lot of physiological symptoms from that. My favourite is what's called the Pinocchio effect, which is where your nose... They've actually found out your nose does get slightly larger when you lie, and that's why a lot of people start scratching their nose. You can't measure it. It's not a big difference. It's very, very, very tiny, but that's why you often see people scratch their nose when they lie.
Barbara Streisand must be the worst liar going, mustn't she? And Barry Manilow. Imagine them two. Terrible. Lying through their teeth, the pair of them. And what about eye contact?
Eye contact, you either get people doing what are called cut-offs, and those are the people like you that sit on their hands and don't move. They do a kind of poker face and they can't use eye contact. Or you get people, and I've seen some criminals do it, where they actually go into this kind of no blink, over stare, that's over congruent. You know, make out the that's it, yeah.
That'd terrify me.
Well, it would do. It's a sign of animal aggression, so it is scary, especially if they do it with a fixed
So these are all like primeval instincts that are still coming out, yeah?
Absolutely. Yeah. Then we've got the over-gesticulation. You know, it's a little bit like verbal diarrhoea. Some people, when they start, if they've had a day off sick, it's like, oh, they weren't just sick, they're kind of like, and they're in the drip and everything like that, so they overdo it.
Ignore this lot. I mean, what about covering your face or your mouth?
Covering the face or the mouth. That's a little bit like, if you've ever seen a child lie, especially to its parent, it will cover its entire face. So if you say, you know, if you tidied your room, and then we know as we get older that if somebody says at work, have you done that document, you can't go, yes, I have, it doesn't work. But there's a tendency to still want to cover the face. But the eye roll is the best way to find out, and that's eye movement. So if you asked me a question and I was going to be reflective and honest about the answer, my eyes would probably go up and to the left because that stimulates recalled memory. So if I said to you, what did you do on Millennium Night? That would stimulate...
I remember this when I'm in court. Where were you on the night of the 4th?
But if you go up and to the right, that goes into... That's when you're making it up. So
really?
That agitates that part of the brain.
How did you learn all this stuff?
I've just spent 20 years writing about it and studying it and probably knowing some good liars as well. So.
Are people terrified of it?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, like, you know, I've got to tell her a lie. How am I going to get round this?
And, by the way, women can always tell when their husbands are lying. That's absolute fact.
Their lips move.
Because... Well, number one, we can spot it anyway, but then what most women do, evidently, psychologically, it's been proven that they don't challenge the husband, and that means the husband carries on using the same technique for years and years and years, so you can always spot it, but they never hone the skill or improve.
Oh, really?
So they're always bad liars, because we never challenge them.
And do you use all these techniques, like, in your private life?
I just go home immediately, family, cats, the lot. I just look to see who's like, no, I'd go mad. I'd go mad.
OK, well, look, we've got some clips here of people who may or may not be lying. Will you talk us through them?
Yes, I will.
OK. Right, first one up to Tony Blair.
In their own destiny, not the recipients of a predestined formula laid down by government.
He's lying. He's lying through his teeth, because he did this.
He was trying to take control. In actual fact, it wasn't a naked lie. It was just what he was doing was he was using double-handed gestures, which is over-emphatic, over-congruent. But he lost track of the words slightly, so it's as though the body was really, really there, but the mind was not quite on board or on line with the lie. And he faltered over his words there, so he then had to do that to try and take control. That's a very simian alpha signal. Sorry, I said that to you because you did that simian alpha thing in, you know, Gene Hunt's alpha male.
Oh, yeah.
OK, who've we got next, Bert? Sven, what's Sven? We've got Sven. Let's have a... Go on then, Bert.
In this country.
Is he lying?
In Sweden. In Italy.
Oh. He's lying through his teeth. What do you reckon?
He's doing... it's an emotional form of lying, so he wasn't literally saying you hadn't done anything. I mean, this was obviously after the Eureka thing. But not only did you get the... And again, it's that state of lie arousal. It causes a dry mouth, but then a slightly cleggy throat. But also, he did a very good micro gesture, which was how he was really feeling. So he was doing the ice cool sweet, but I don't know if you noticed, he did a real snarl with his lip. And that was because he really wanted to probably attack the audience for asking him questions like that.
Ah. Right, who's an expert? It's not me, is it, by any chance? Is it? Is it? Is it? Which I know, thanks to me years of working at School of Astronomy. Hey, I've Snick. How old am I now? 32 years.
You are the worst liar. I mean, really.
I am. I'm the worst. I am admitted. I'm a shocking liar.
You so much hate lying, you then sniff to almost hoover it back up and you reel away. I mean, it's like the lie's there and you're jumping away from it. I mean, you just always tell the truth because I
get embarrassed when I'm telling a whopper. Yeah. And because I over-exaggerate to make it sound real, you know what I mean? I get embarrassed of myself and trail off. Is that it? Oh,